So we'll start our flow practice. This is a combination of Ashtanga and Vinyasa. The last couple of weeks, we've avoided the arm balances. And so today I thought we would incorporate that in since it's been a little bit. So we'll get started and let's start standing at the top of the mat and we'll do our breath work standing and just get rolling. All right, come to stand at the top of the mat, root and ground the feet, spreading the toes. Start to lock in the legs, but not the knees. Lift up through the heart center, bring your hands to prayer position. This mudra is also considered the salutation seal. It's usually what we begin and end a sun sal with. So with your hands held together, your eyes gently closed, begin to consider your intention for practicing today. Maybe your intention is just to get your workout in, to get your blood flowing, to stay conditioned or toned. But you may have a different intention. Maybe you've been stressed and you know that some physical activity will do your mind and body some good to help to resolve some of that stress intention. You may have a deeper intention than that. It may be at a more psychological or spiritual level. Whatever it is, consider that now. And then equally consider maybe who or what you would like to dedicate your practice to or towards. Maybe it's just a broad basis for world peace. Maybe it's for the health and healing of the planet. Perhaps it's sending good energy to conquering COVID. Perhaps it's towards a loved one that is hurting, that needs some positive energy sent their way. And then once you've created your intention and your desire to dedicate your practice to something else or someone else, begin some yogic breath work. Maybe closing and shielding the eyes. Perhaps activating the Ujjayi breath. Perhaps feeling the chest rise up into your thumbs. And how it softens back down on the exhale. Then flutter the eyes open, set your drishti. Inhale, build the arms up to frame the face. Exhale, come down to Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. Inhale, coming halfway up. Exhale, we're stepping back and lowering down. You can always drop your knees as well. Inhale, rise up to upward facing dog. And exhale, roll it back to downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers, gripping the fingertips. Suctionating the hands to the floor with that little lift at the arch of the hand. So notice the palms have an arch just like the feet. Extend long through the vertebrae. Let your head hang between the arms. And then inhale, establish your feet at the top of the mat, side by side, shining the heart through. Exhale, spilling back down. Inhale, soaring up. Exhale, lowering hands to heart, Samastitihi. Let's continue. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep yogic breaths. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to the top of the mat, rising up halfway. And exhale, lower back in. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhaling up. Exhale, pour down. Keep this rolling. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, that low push-up position. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, landing in downward facing dog. Holding the position, but keeping the breath flowing. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, recenter, Samastitihi. Another A, inhaling. Exhale, flow with your breath. Inhale, lengthen the vertebrae. Exhale, strengthen the upper body. Inhale, stretch the spine. Exhale, strengthen your core as you roll back. Now strengthen the diaphragm muscle as you breathe. Feeling the expansion and the stretch of the lungs as you inhale. Depleting them on the exhale. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down and in. Inhale, come all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Moving on to B, inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, lower and hover. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, rock and roll back. Right foot steps through, warrior one. Exhale, hands down to frame the foot. Stepping through for the vinyasa. Remember, you can always hold down dog in between the warrior poses. Now inhale, left foot through from down dog. Exhale, hands descend. And rock and roll back. Hold and breathe. So just so you guys know, I went to a class last week and it was way faster than I normally practice. And even though I was trying to slow it down, I didn't feel it at the time, but it really tweaked my left knee. So there's certain positions with my left knee bent and standing poses where sometimes it'll catch or hurt. So I may be modifying. Inhale, both feet forward. Open the heart. Exhale, let go. Inhale, chair. Like this is one of the poses. Anytime the knees bent, I'm standing. It sometimes catches. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, Chaturanga. In and rise. Out and fold back. Inhale, right foot leads, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, release. Continue the flow if you choose. Left foot forward, back heel down. And I'm gonna shy away from lunging so deep because it feels better. Exhale, hands down. Step it back. When you're rolling through the vinyasa, landing in that final down dog to breathe. Remembering child's pose is also available. Inhale the feet to the top, open the heart. Exhale, bow out. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. We'll continue with B. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. In and halfway up. Out and lower down. In and up. Out and back. Right footsteps through warrior 1. Exhale back to Chaturanga. Into up dog. Out to down dog. In, left foot leading, warrior 1. Out and lower the hands. Into up dog. Out to down dog. Hold and breathe. Remembering these Surya Namaskaras are set up at the beginning of this practice to really heat up the muscles, to make them more open, a little bit more pliable for the standing poses. The standing poses prepare us for the seated poses, and then the inversions prepare us for Shavasana. Inhale to the top of the mat. Out and lower down. In and up to chair. Out to Samastitihi. We're doing the full 5 today. Inhale, Utkatasana. Out and hinge forward. In and lift up. Out and lower down. In and lift. Out and back. Right foot through, left heel down, warrior 1. Out and plant the hands. Into the back bend. Out and roll it back over the toes. Left foot next, warrior 1. out, and back through the Vinyasa. In and shine your heart. Out and melt the heart in downward facing dog. Pause here and breathe. Inhale, bring the feet to the top of the mat. Out and roll it down. In, lift a chair. Out with hands to heart. Hands to the hips. I don't feel like jumping today. I'm just gonna step my feet wider. Shoulders back, heart expands. Exhale, fold. And then we'll take that peace mudra, first 2 fingers around each big toe. Now, align your calves so they're firming up. Lift your kneecaps. And then try to magnetize your head and heart lower towards that space between the legs. There's a crazy yoga pose. I shouldn't call it crazy. It looks crazy though. And I've never even tried it. But most people that are into this like Ashtanga form of yoga, they tend to lean more towards the extreme poses after they build up this practice for years, to the point where they actually bring their whole torso actually between and behind the legs. We're not trying to do that though. We're just trying to fold into that space or towards the space. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, stack your hands up underneath the feet. Bow the head in. Lift your sits bones up. Padahastasana. One of my dogs is dreaming, so if you hear some sounds. And release the hands from the feet. Bring them up to your waist and slowly rise to the top. All right, we're ready for the standing poses. So we're gonna step the feet nice and wide. We'll rotate, I won't mirror you, the right foot 90 degrees. Lengthen out the arms and take it into triangle pose. Now, if that right shoulder's like coming ahead of the left, you can roll it back. Inhale, drive up with your left hand, lifting your right. Right foot turns in, left foot turns out. Push back into the hips, lengthen through your waist, windmill down to triangle. So I have to say, that class that I mentioned I went to, now it was a great flow class, don't get me wrong. It was just way faster than I normally practice. And that suits some people, right? Because they want that cardiovascular aspect. But what I didn't realize was that the room was heated. I didn't read that in the description. So I didn't expect all the heat. But I want you to notice, if you can, where my hand is propped on the leg. It's right under the knee at the top of the shin. And this is the side where I've had some SI joint issues. I will say, as I was practicing in that heat, I was able to get my hand where it used to be down towards the foot. And I was just surprised because I always feel it catch about here and it didn't catch that day. So I don't know if the heat had anything to do with it, but it did feel good. Inhale, lift through the right hand and rise. Exhale, relax your arms. Okay, we're gonna turn the right foot around again, but I suggest hopping that left foot over a little bit. It'll give you better balance and it'll also help to square the hips. Take the left arm in front of you, reach it forward and down, spiral the right arm skyward, hold and breathe. Stay heavy in your feet, and then inhale, come up. We're gonna turn the feet the other way. And again, you may have to hop the right foot over at this point. Square the hips. Lean forward with your right hand first, and then sail the left arm up next. Inhale, root the feet and come up. And then we're going to turn the feet. Now, you may have narrowed the distance, and I know I do, for triangle, especially when we're revolving. So for side angle, we need to widen the stance. So always check your footing and foundation first in the standing pose. And then we'll start to turn the right foot out, lunge the knee, drop that thigh, stack onto it. And the left arm can go straight up or beside your ear. Establish a rhythmic breath. Inhale, bring it up. Right foot in. Left foot turns out. Let's see how this knee does in this pose. Bend the knee. Drop the thigh. It's feeling good so far. Prop to the elbow. Right arm sails up or at an angle. So, all of us can come into the practice with some minor or major issues. I would say if you have major issues, depending on what it is, you may just want to give your body a break. I know this is a minor one because not all the poses trigger that pain. Like right now, I don't feel it at all. But in the warrior poses and in the chair poses, I felt it several times. So stay cautious where you may have some of those issues. Inhale, let's come up. Relax the arms. Right foot turns out, lunge the knee. And let's do something different today. Let's come away from the back heel and step the knee to the floor and untuck the toes. And let's pick up the left hand, cross the elbow to the other side, let your palms stack together and rotate right. Exhale, unwind. We're going to take the hands down, curl the back toes under, lift the knee, hop the foot forward a little bit, and bow over to Parsvottanasana. Now we're going to do this pose two different ways. If you need hands on blocks, you're welcome to add those in. All right, now really push heavy through your right foot so that you can float your hands and come up to stand. So you can either do reverse prayer hands behind your back. Just don't get sloppy with the arms. They stay rolled open. Or crisscross the arms and notice which arm's on the bottom. Usually I put the right arm on the bottom if the right foot's in front. And then lift your chest. Exhale, we're going to slowly hinge. And maybe at first, just get yourself a slight angle forward or parallel to the mat. And then if your body allows, kind of hug the belly in and fold more. Inhale, let's rise. Turn your feet, separate them wider. Lift the arms to the sides. We will get to the other side in a moment, but let's hinge down. First two fingers, wrap around each big toe. Fan the arms away from the legs. Let your head go. Typically in Ashtanga, the eyes stay open. And I know with you practicing with me, certain styles, like restorative and yin, I highly suggest closing the eyes. And I know in blissful flow, it really just kind of depends on the pose we're doing. But if you enjoy closing the eyes, this is a good one to do it in. Shutting out the world and the external stimuli or distractions, which I need to do right now because the dogs have been on my mat and I see a lot of dog hair with the eyes open. And then sack your hands to your waist and slowly come up. And then we'll turn the left foot. And then this is where we're going to start to lunge the knee, spin away from the back heel. And we're going to do a different version of the reverse side angle. So let's just go ahead and let the back knee down, toes untuck, and then pick up the right elbow to hook to the opposite side of the knee. Palms come together, rotate left. Exhale, let's unwind. Curl the back toes under. This is where we're going to move towards not Paschimottanasana. No, it's another P word. It's Parvottanasana. Parsvottanasana, your hands give me on blocks or to the floor or to your shin. And we're going to be doing this pose two different ways today. So let's plug the feet down a little bit more. That sturdies up the legs and allows us to come up. Now you can either move into your reverse prayer hands or crisscross the arms, maybe this time with the left foot in front, the left arm's on the bottom. And then open and blossom the heart. Start to pour over the front leg. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release your arms, spin the feet, but then make a wider stance between the legs. Lace your fingers behind your back, open up your chest. Exhale, hinge down, and let the arms fly overhead. Keep the shoulders lifting up away from the face. And then soften the skin of the face. Inhale, build up. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, we're gonna move back to the top of the mat. So you can turn your right foot and step up. I'm gonna keep facing you today. So, Padangusthasana A. Again, I'm not mirroring you, but you can hold the knee, right, and do the sequence that way. Or you can attempt to straighten the leg using a strap or your hand. Five breaths. Eventually turning the hip open to B. Five breaths. From the time we start the position, you should be at five now. Bring the leg in front, hands to the hips. Padangusthasana D, we're skipping C today. And release. Left knee is going to come up. Maybe this is great. Maybe that just brings you closer to your foot and you want to attempt to straighten it out. Five breaths. Moving into B next for five. Back to center for D. And release. Whew. Feeling that today. All right, hands to the heart. Inhale, build up. Exhale, flow down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take it to chaturanga. Into up dog. Out to down dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Back heel down. Warrior two. Straighten the right leg, turn the foot in, turn your left foot, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the left leg, turn the foot in, right foot out, hands down, take that next vinyasa. Now let's come down to the knees. Take the legs out in front. Now sometimes we jump through. I don't feel like jumping today. Flex the feet, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Now it is possible to really round or to kind of like collapse at the waist. But remember, we're hinging from the hips. We're trying to keep the low back long. And eventually, the more flexible you are, the lower you get towards the legs, you will slightly round the back, but otherwise keep it fairly neutral. Inhale, come up. Slide your right foot back. Open up from the hip, Janu Shirshasana. Lift the arms up. Exhale, hinge down. Typically, we gaze out towards the foot. If that's not great for your neck, then look down. And we're going to do something a little different today. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, we're going to take the twist first. Left hand to the bent knee. Right hand behind the back. Now we're going to keep the left hand attached to that knee. We're going to fly the right arm skyward. We're going to stay in that twist, gazing off to the right, but then we're going to pour the upper body over the left leg. This is a version of Pavarita Janu or revolving head of the knee pose. Now inhale, we're coming back up with the right arm. And as we exhale, we bring it down and spin back to face the front. We're going to pick up the right heel. Try to bring it to half lotus. And if it doesn't operate well that way, just drop your foot back to where it was. Right arm circles behind you. You may or may not catch the foot. It's okay if you can't. Left arm reaches high. Exhale, come on down. Keep purifying your lungs with your breath. Purifying with the breath also helps to purify the nerve roots. Helps to purify digestion. And you may notice it purifies the mind. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, remove that back hand. All right, we're going to add in a hip opener today. If you slide the left foot in and stack the right knee on top, now you can do one of two things. The right foot can either stay in the half lotus, or really one of three things. And if that doesn't work well, you can try double stacking for fire log. If that doesn't work well, the foot can cross over to the other side. So this one's the most advanced one for the hips. I'm not going to be so advanced today. I'm going to bring it back to half lotus, which is kind of the middle ground of the two. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, walk it out. Find the edge. Notice how that edge may change practice to practice or day to day, dependent on so many variables. Inhale, let's climb up. All right, let's release both legs. Now notice, as I came out, I noticed the tailbone was slightly tucked. You may need to have to, kind of bump up or pull the flesh out. Lift the arms overhead, exhale, Paschimottanasana. Inhale up. Bend the left knee. Open from the hip. And then we'll do the twist. Actually, no, we folded first. Then we twisted. Okay, let's do Janu Shasana first. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale, spin. Now we'll take the twist. Left arm up. Exhale, pour over. Inhale up. Exhale, face the front. Pick up that left foot. See if you can stack it to the hip crease. If not, just remain where you were. Left arm circles back behind. Right arm shoots towards the sky. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, remove that back hand. You can stack to the hands and slide your right foot in. And you have those three options. This is kind of the medium version. This is probably the more advanced version. And this is the simpler form where the foot crosses over. Pick 1, 2, or 3. Lift up energetically. And then let your exhale take you forward and down. Stay established in your breath. The more you establish yourself with breath, the more you're apt to arrive to the state of yoga. And then let's inhale, bring it up. All right, instead of going through the vinyasa, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the feet out in front of us, toes lift, hands cup up underneath for Navasana, because we really do need the awareness of the core before we move to arm balances. So maybe for the first one, you just hold your legs. Advance it if you feel that desire, that need. And then we crisscross the ankles, hands down, scoot the belly in, bump up. Second Navasana. Maybe this time you want to lift your hands and be hands free. Crisscross the ankles the opposite way. Hands down, lean forward, bump up. Come back down. Third Navasana. And you can take another form or do the same. Exhale, release. We're going to separate the feet. Instead of, again, going through another vinyasa, we're just going to lift our way up. And come like a bear pose here, but with hands down. All right, so the head may be dropping a little lower. That's okay. Loosen your elbows enough to wing them out, and then drop them down. Lift your heels and lift your face. When you feel the knees stacked on the arms, you still have to dip forward a little bit in order to float the toes up. Crow. Now we're going to land back to the feet. And if you want to hold that, maybe instead of the next pose, you can try again. But I thought we'd go to Bhuja Pindasana, which what shows up in Ashtanga. The hands scoot back towards the ankles. You drop the tailbone, squeeze the knees to the arms, flex and float the feet. So in crow, we point the toes and lift. Here we flex the feet and lift. And then if you want to stretch out the legs, point the toes, that's Tittabhasana, firefly. And then we'll come down. I haven't done that in a few weeks, and that felt hard today. Feet together, close them in. And then we'll hands down to bound angle. Last week was a hard week. And then it was a hard weekend. So it may not be that I haven't done it in a few weeks. It may just be, it's been an emotional week. And so with that, I'm kind of just mentally fatigued. Not sure how you're feeling, but remember the breath can be medicinal. And just look at these poses as being fun instead of striving for perfection. All right, inhale, come up. All right. Let's scoot forward a little bit. Or I needed to, you may not need to. Come down to your spine. And we're gonna work on bridge. So if you wanted, right, maybe you're feeling mentally or emotionally exhausted, right? If you have that need to make it supportive, grab a bolster or block and you can slip it below the buttocks, or the sacrum rather. Walk your feet back. Establish your hands beside you. Roll the upper arms downward. So it's almost like you're about to tuck the shoulder blades under, and that should lift the cavity of your chest. With that, lift up, Setu Bandhasana, and breathe. I know those of you that practice more of the Ashtanga format, you may have noticed I've been leaving out the shoulder stands and plows and the deaf man's pose. And you can always pause, the video and do that or add it in if I'm doing an inversion like this. But I'm still trying to avoid those poses personally, at least until I get clearance from the chiropractor. All right, as you exhale, roll down. We're going to tuck the knees in a moment. Breathe low into your belly. Setu Bandhasana times 2. So flatten the feet. Arms come down. Roll the shoulders down so that the center of the chest picks up. And then tuck the tailbone and lift. Now you can be here, active, or you can make it restorative. But I'm going to amp it up a little bit by lacing the hands, tucking the shoulders farther under the body, and lifting the pelvis higher. Wherever you're at, breathe. Remove your hands, slide your shoulders broad, roll it down, and catch your legs. Apanasana. So we're going to do 3 bridges. Again, you can be passive, restorative. You can be active in one of those 2 ways I've already shown. Or you can try to join me for this 3rd edition, which is where we rise to bridge and try to lift up into wheel. I'm not sure how my body's going to do today, and you may feel the same, so let's just give it a go. Set your feet down, flip your hands over the shoulders, and at first just come to bridge, right? Your hands are over the shoulders, but you're pressing through the feet, you're tucking the tailbone. Now you can push down through your palms and try to lift up. Breathe. At least for 5. You're ready to come down, lengthen your neck. Roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Take happy baby. So this would be a good time if you want to add in that plow, the shoulder stand. You can do that in place of this pose. But if you're happy here, just stay. I'll give you some time. If you're doing plow and shoulder stand, be sure to keep your head still and not turning your face from side to side. There's a lot of nerve endings that stem down through the back of the neck. And you just want to err on the side of caution. Now let's go ahead, roll to one side of the body. Hopefully you have a pillow or a bolster. And if you don't, maybe you have blocks and you want the blocks under the knees. But I thought for today, we could do a reclined butterfly for Shavasana, especially since last week had that full moon and lunar eclipse, and things might have been a little emotional for you to some degree. So let's just spin the knees open. Let's open the hips, the inner thighs. I'm going to let the hands rest on the belly, but you can really have them anywhere. Check in with your body temperature. If you feel too cool, or if your house is cold, cover with a blanket. Affirming here, bones, muscles, movement. I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, any and all churning thoughts, I now give over to the hands of peace. your mind gets dull or drifts away, come back to your breath and watch it stream in and out. Again, taking deeper sips of breath. Perhaps stretching the arms overhead. Lifting the knees, flying the feet up and pointing through the toes. Exhale, Apanasana. Turning to one side. Rising to take a seat. Feel free to sit on your prop. It's okay to sit on blocks too. Palms open, eyes closed. And then we're going to seal our whole practice and remember what our intention was and who we dedicated it towards. Picture that in your mind's eye. And maybe add yourself to the equation. We'll chant the mantra. Feel free to join. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all walk away from this practice being free and at peace by anything out of our control, anything imposed upon us by another, or any internal concerns of our own. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste.